Hello, beautiful YouTube. It is Emily. I hope you're having a wondrous, glorious moment wherever that may be. If you're tuning in for the first time, today would be a great time to check this channel out because I'm going to be sharing something that is very dear to my heart. And if you've seen the title of today's video is The Heart and the Soul of the American Aquarian Avant Garde. And for those of you who love art making, love creativity, love poetry, love writing, whatever art you love, you do know right now that there is an interesting thing happening within the world at large known as artificial intelligence. And so I have felt guided over the last few years to start a movement. And every new age or new era requires a new art. And this is something that I have known as somebody who has a Master's of Fine Arts and a PhD in creative writing and special emphasis in writing poetry, poetics, the art of making poetry. This is something I did talk about in my TEDx talk, but that poetry means at its root, poesis, to make or making. And I want to explain briefly what a PhD actually is, because I feel like a lot of people don't actually understand what a doctorate of philosophy is. So if you look at the word philosophy, you will find philosophia, the love of Sophia. So someone who has a doctorate in philosophy, Sophia translates to wisdom, right? So this is a person who has cultivated a deep wisdom about any given subject. Now, I have a drawing. It kind of looks like a strange boob. But I want you to imagine that this bubble is all of the poetic wisdom and knowledge that ever was, that ever will be in existence. And then anybody getting a PhD in poetry, poetics, is going to advance, right? This right here is an advancement. It's an advancement to the field of poetic wisdom and knowledge. And so part of what I feel like my life mission and soul purpose is and has been to this point is to really come into my own as a scholar and as a Aquarian scholar at that. All right, now, if I were to sum up the Aquarian Avant Garde in just a single sentence, it would be only a human being could make that. Okay? So only a human being could make that. And yeah, we need to go over what Aquarian energy is. We're also going to talk a little bit about America, because specifically I'm talking about the American Aquarian Avant Garde movement, of which I am co-founder of, and my co-creator, I'm not going to share who my co-creator is at this time, but I do have a co-creator in this movement. And so let us begin. Okay, let us start with what is Aquarius? What is Aquarian? Okay, I, Emily, am a 4 celestial body Aquarian. My sun sign is Aquarian. I won't be sharing in this public space the other parts of my birth chart that are Aquarian. But in Vedic astrology, which I personally prefer because it is actually what is, like Western astrology, I think tropical astrology, there's different types of astrologies, right? But true sky astrology is like where the celestial bodies actually are when any given person is born, right? So true sky astrology is like not on any system that is going against what is naturally occurring in actual nature. So in my true sky astrology, I am a 4 celestial body Aquarian. In my Western astrology, I am a 2 planet Aquarian. And yeah, one of those is, of course, my sun sign, as my birthday is in February. I won't be sharing the exact date of my birthday, but I am a late February Aquarian, and so I know a lot about the energy. Okay, Now, I kind of feel and have felt through most of my life that Aquarians almost like live in the future, like almost as if they go through things before other people go through things. It's like this very kind of futuristic energy. And I think that is true of the origin story and the creation point of the Aquarian soul stream, because Aquarians are completely detached, like 100% detached from the old way of doing things. And as we are all entering this new Aquarian era, this Aquarian age of enlightenment and peace and joy, we are going to see that the old way of doing things is no longer working. And as I said at the beginning, for every new age, there is a new art. So let's think about what is truly Aquarian. You know what? I'm on the wrong page of my notebook, so please forgive me. I have to find the correct page here. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Come around, my Lord, kumbaya. Come around, my Lord, kumbaya. Come around, my Lord, kumbaya. Give them grace, my Lord, give them grace. If they disgraced the goddess's face, give them grace, my Lord, if you choose. Give them grace if they disgraced the goddess's face or form. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Okay, actually I was so into singing my song, I still couldn't find the page I was looking for. Clearly, I have too much in this particular notebook, and there she is! Okay. So, okay, Aquarius energy is very playful. It is a playful energy, and it likes to have fun. And when it is and does feel safe and is at its best, it's like very, I think there's a childlike energy to kind of Aquarian, because it's such a sort of innocent soul stream essence. And if you were to just do, like, say, a Google search, you would probably pull up, what is Aquarius? Well, it would say that it's inventive or innovative, and it would say it's very humanitarian. Now, if you looked at the zodiacal wheel and you were to examine the imagery that comes through for each of these God-given soul gift, talent, stream, star, light, essence of the souls, you would see that the Aquarian is actually just like a human being. You know, there's only one other sign that is also just human, and that is the Virgo. And then there is the Sagittarius, which is like man and horse, right? So part man. Aquarius and Virgo are both human in their nature. So I, Emily, have this old etymological dictionary. It's something I truly adore and love. It's like from about the 1750s, and it is a dictionary of divine providence for anyone who knows kind of the history of what divine providence is. Anyways, I looked up what human is in that particular book, and I got this really beautiful thing. It's so, I feel like it kind of encapsulated the true Aquarian essence in such a charming and wonderful way. So the nature of man is gentleness, like having a gentleness to you, right? If we were to translate what Jesus said, the meek will inherit the earth. If you were to translate that in the Hebrew or Aramaic, I'm not sure. I know that the meek translates to gentle, right? So there's this gentleness to man and this courteousness, this curtsy, this, like in the old days, my great-grandfather, I'm like feeling my great-grandfather being like, in the old days, like we could do it with a handshake, like courteous to our virtues as human beings. And then affability, being affable, right? Affable is your ability to be civil and to communicate with ease and grace and eloquence and to speak clearly and to be approachable and to be able to, talk to people in a good way. And I feel like true Aquarians really have these human gifts of gentleness, courtesy, and affability, especially when they're being treated fairly and with kindness. Now, if you were to look at the tarot and you were to examine what card, like the archetypal image of what the Aquarian is, you would find a human being, nude, right? Very free, very, very in your birthday suit, You are born nude. You are born from the womb naked. And so it is this stripping away of anything that is not truly human that Aquarians are really brilliant at. And yes, okay. Anything else here? Aquarians are deeply inventive, innovative, creative. And because they are not attached to the old systems or old ways of doing anything, and because they are ushering in this new era, Aquarians have no interest in oppressive, hierarchical, man-made doctrines, dogmas, or things that are just old. Like, out with the old, in with the new. You know what I'm saying? And Aquarians, because they are so humane, they are deeply, deeply moral people, and they have a strong sense of ethos or ethics. And they are virtuous, and we talked about how they are kind and gentle and courteous. And they also kind of, because of their specific unique soul stream's role on the planet, if you were to think of if you were to look at the suit cards of the tarot, right, the Aquarian Queen would be the Queen of Swords, because Aquariuses are actually air signs. It's like thought, spirit, and anything in the air is their sort of oeuvre and mastery energy. And they are deep thinkers. They are really huge thought leaders. They are great educators. They are great teachers, and they have really an astuteness to them. They are astute. And for that reason, many Aquarians really do devote themselves to a specific area of expertise in their life. And many Aquarians are actually PhDs and or have high masterful degrees. Okay, now a tiny bit more about the Aquarian energy. What came through was that Robert Frost poem, that specific line in the poem, "The road less traveled by." So Aquarian beings have a strong sense of individuality, and they kind of move counter current to what the crowd and masses are kind of being, tempted, baited, like everybody's going like, we're going to AI. And Aquarians are like, no, I'm going this way. You all can go that way, but I'm going this way, right? They go to the counter current. And you're really never going to find any like true Aquarian being at, say, like something like a P. Diddy concert, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're not of that. And Aquarians are incredible. They are incredible social justice heroes. They, they're not going to do social justice. My phone just went dark. Hopefully it's still recording. They're incredible at social justice reform, but they're not going to do social justice how we think of social justice. Like, they're much too inventive for something like that. Like, Aquarians are interested in social justice. And yeah. Also, they're very witty. They have a good sense of humor. It's not like your average, ordinary sense of humor. And they are great healers. We see Aquarians, they're the water bearer. They literally have the water of life. And they're here to give the gift of the water of life. And they give that gift through their thought, their speech, and their actual lived presence. And so getting to be in the living field of an Aquarian is quite a gift. And they're really healers as they gift this water of life, which is truly a royal duty to do. And they want the best for all beings. Like, even people that are, deeply devilish and demented and morally defunct, and just they want the best for everyone, but by the best, that means healing. And specifically the healing of people who are emotionally, spiritually, or, mentally bankrupt. Like, people who are just spiritually bankrupt or emotionally bankrupt. They want them to heal. And they will do what they can to help. And to help, the word I got was circumvent disaster. Circumvent, in the way I'm talking about it here, is to go around disaster. So to outwit or to find a way around disaster. Aquarians are great at this. And yeah, they do have expertise. We already went over this. They are deeply intuitive and sensitive souls. And yeah, they're just, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm partial to myself because I am an Aquarian, but I also have many great Aquarian friends. And Aquarian friends are awesome. If you have an Aquarian friend, they're awesome. And I'm so grateful for all of the Aquarian friends in my life. And I think we're in Leo season now. So this is opposite of the Aquarian energy. Okay. So we went over Aquarius. Now let us continue on. And let us talk briefly about, the problem is normally I just go in order, and so I don't have trouble with my notebook. But today's message was channeled over consecutive days, and so a lot of work gets done in this notebook. Okay, so back to the title. The title of this video is The Heart and Soul of the American Aquarian Avant Garde. And the first thing that I would like to share here is the piece about America. So there is a brilliant aptitude of spiritual beauty in the actual soul of what America is. And, I just would ask anybody listening to think of the America as male or female. Think if someone was named America, would they be a male or a female? America would be a feminine energy. And of course, we have the Lady Liberty. We have the Statue of Liberty that is a lady. And even in the word America, you will find the word mer, right? Mary. You will find the word mer. You will find the mer priestess, the Mary, right? And America is a deeply Christian nation. Unfortunately, because America wanted the ability to practice this truly divinely righteous Mary understanding of what is whole and in union, both Divine Father and Divine Mother spirituality, America wanted to have within its foundation religious freedoms. But religious freedoms brought over all types of people who wanted to have religions that do deeply satanic things, right? So America actually then became a hotbed for Satanism and Luciferianism and Baal worshippers and I don't know, those Moloch people and just demonic, demented forces, right? Because we have allowed spiritual religious freedoms in our land. And so you get things like the Mormon Church, which was like literally started as a religious organization so people could practice pedophilia. You know, like, but that's not what America was ever intended for. That is just what America devolved into. And right now, like, I don't need anybody to tell anybody that there hasn't been a toxic patriarchal force on our planet that has harmed women and women's ability and divine birthright to embody higher spiritual forces. So, you know, when I think of like the hatred of women, I think of the Inquisition and the burning of witches, which really witches were just wise women who held what the ancient priestesses had, the wisdom that they had and held within their bodies and their wombs and their holy womb chakras. Because if you're a man, you came from the womb of a woman if you have a true divine soul. Maybe there are some human beings who came from a incubator tank of genetic experimentation that are beings who did not actually come from a woman, but if you have a divine soul and you have divine birthrights, you as a man came from a woman. Without woman, man doesn't exist. And woman is holy. And so I have a light code for this. Before I give my light codes are truly only for those who they are meant for. All right, and this is according to divine will and divine plan of the God source creator of all sentient life forms. And for my own protection, because this is a public space, and for anyone's protection out there, my light code will only be for the people it is truly meant for from divine plan and for your highest good as well as my highest good. And if neither of those things are true, then the light code will not be for you. And that is my clear intention. Okay. Here it is right here. Mia torre pesha sta te borra tata rapitete te kutututu rashasatutu. Okay. So we talked about Aquarian, we talked about American, and now we're going to get into some of this new avant-garde energy because I'm drawing a very big distinction between the old avant-garde and the new avant-garde, because this is the Aquarian American avant-garde that I'm speaking of. So if you were to look up what the avant-garde is, it is the advanced guard, right? It is the advanced, the people who are, in this case, energetically, vibrationally, spiritually advanced beings, right? They are the leading edge, and they're out on the leading edge, and they kind of go first, and they have within them the divine creative confidence to do so. And yeah, it's an advanced energetic. And part of the goal of the avant-garde is to be sure that justice prevails. And so a part of what is happening here is a cleaning up of the grids of things that are truly incompetent to lead humans forward in ways that are safe, loving, peaceful, joyful, and truly human. So things like narcissism, things like extreme obsessive greed, things like hatred and war and fear-mongering, and things like even woke bullshit, because some of the woke stuff out there is truly bullshit in a reality that is morally sane and mature and civil in the way that it governs and brings peace to all people who, by their God-given, come from a womb, divine mother birthrights, have the right to God-given birthrights, which in America, luckily, thankfully, our founding fathers understood that a time and a day like this may come where there would be a need for the hand of the holy to be made manifest in the true citizens of the true America, not the fake, false America. Okay, not any America that's pretending to be a dictatorship or a technocracy. The true democratic American, life, love, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay, now, within the spirit of the avant garde is a true divine determination to succeed and overcome all obstacles that are obstructing justice of any kind, way, shape, or form. So all obstructions of justice to trying to obstruct divine justice, legal justice, or my personal favorite, poetic justice. If there are obstructions to this justice coming forth, like think of like, I don't know, one of our founding fathers and his little mallet. Hair, you know, like, if there's any of that, the avant-garde is able to overcome it with ease and with grace. Okay. Now here's some fun, just like a little sprinkle of words that I heard. The curse breaker, the righteous moneymaker, right? The type of money that is like generational wealth and that is stewarded properly in ways that are not selfish or narcissistic. The love creator is kind of like a divine matchmaker, and the divine alignment of free will choice, okay? And then I got, in this very poetic way, Shakespeare's famous words, to be or not to be. That is the question. Yes, no, maybe, so. So, now I will turn it out to any person out there who may be watching. Every quest has within it questions, right? When you're on a quest towards anything great and glorious, that's the word. When you're on a quest towards anything glorious, there will be many questions that arise. Okay, so here is some advice. If the question you are asking is not a pure or true question, then it will not contain beauty or goodness. But if the question you are asking contains both beauty and goodness, then it is a pure and true question, and you should ask that question, right? And you should let your heart lead you to the answer. And if your question doesn't contain both beauty and goodness, I would prefer, as the founder of the American Aquarian Avant Garde, that you just toss that question away, dissolve it into pure light and love, and you begin asking a new question and a better question that helps you hear and find the answer that always arises within yourself. Okay. Last, but certainly not least, I, Emily, I do not belong to any religion or religiosity, okay? I do not belong to any cult. I certainly do not belong to any religion or religiosity or cult of nincompoops or tards or nincompoop-tards, okay? If you look up what a nincompoop is, it's a blockhead, right? Okay, I do not belong to any religion, any religiosity, or any cult of nincompoops or nincompoop-tards or tards, okay? I personally know and believe within myself that when the soul is truly awake and has within it both love and glory, that is available to all people. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your culture, right? When your soul is truly awake with love and glory, you are not beholden to a dogmatic doctrine or system that's like, here, I'll take your money and I'll become the commander and spiritual dictator over your spiritual life and soul. No. At any church, like the Mormon church that does that, is blah. Okay. So, doesn't matter your belief system, your doctrine, your dogma, your religion, whatever. Like that is, I say this because it's important for people to know the spiritual source behind anything. And the spiritual source behind the American Aquarian Avant Garde movement is divine source creator of all sentient life that includes both Father God and Mother Goddess. Right? Equally balanced in the way that is truly divine, generative, and life-giving, right? So, you know, I am free, I live free, and I want freedom for all sentient beings that have nervous systems, that have emotions, feelings, that have organs, that are truly organic life forms of God's divine grace and beauty. Mother Goddess, like, yes, of course. And this is important to speak aloud here now. Okay, now let me see if there's anything else before I close. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Come around, my Lord, kumbaya. Give them grace, my Lord. Give them grace if they've disgraced the goddess's face or form. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Give them grace if you so choose, my Lord. Much love. If you stayed all the way to the end, you liked this message, you want to help this message make it further, I, of course, always am so grateful and honored for your likes, your comments, and your shares with cool people. And, oh, one other thing I would like to say is that the vast majority, like huge percentages of what is truly Aquarian avant-garde is not here on screens, right? Very, very little of it is actually have anything to do with that, right? Maybe just a very tiny dot, but like nothing more. And so if for people who are truly a part of the Aquarian American Avant Garde, the foundation and all the work of the creation of that has been done in real life, in real reality, in like real two bioorganic human fields creating together with the beauty and truth of goodness. And that's important as well to state. Okay. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. Much love.